7 September 2019, pertarungan kelas bantam dunia WBC mempertemukan dua petinju tak terkalahkan. Dari Prancis, sang juara bertahan Nordine Oubaali melawan penantang muda berbakat asal Jepang, Takuma Inoue. Memasuki ronde pertama, kedua petinju mulai hati-hati. Takuma mencoba jab cepat untuk jaga jarak. Oubaali tampil santai membaca gerakan lawan. Belum banyak pukulan bersih, ronde pembuka masih seimbang.
Inoue arguably got stronger at the ring. He's not been able to so far. He's quick to be the world's pound-for-pound best puncher. The fighters he's taken to unanimous decision is hurt or put down at the minute. Oubaali has anything to go by. That's only going to improve as time goes on. But in a contest of this magnitude, he'll know if he can adjust the range and set it up. See take on to come down to the scorecards. Snappy counter punching it, and again, lovely right hand. At centering. Sometimes we see that does carry his chin up very relaxed. That's a lovely right to body. Out and out bully that night.
Memasuki ronde kedua, tempo mulai naik. Takuma lebih aktif dengan kombinasi ringan. Namun Oubaali mulai masuk dengan counter tajam. Ronde ini masih cukup ketat.
To be able to get into range and out, he's going to have to get going now. This is better. I think this corner may have said, you know, you need to get going. Again, Takuma Inoue. And the crowd will be cheering when that he nipping top fights, as this has the feeling it might. Then Kazakhstan. So this is close. It is close. I don't think any of the occasion, you know, he is the champion. I think he stepped in. Rangefinder, something to establish. Inoue's working really well behind that jab. Of the fight so far. Yeah, this is good stuff from Oubaali. So he's looking for that left-hand exit, which is sensible against short uppercuts go in. Backhandedly carry the power in this contest. Where he wants to position the young challenger early in the round. That was a good shot, body shot from. As it landed, and therefore not a legitimate instructions. Busy night for him, arguably the most important. And a trainer's got two fighters on the board.
Memasuki ronde ketiga, momen penting. Oubaali melepaskan hoki keras yang menjatuhkan Takuma. Takuma bangkit tapi terlihat mulai tertekan. Ronde jelas milik Oubaali.
About a year ago, power in it, but he managed to find the top of the head of in the world, top of the international amateur. That's all part of the amateur school in 2 Olympic Games. Very, very top level, will be numbered. And the younger brother for the first time in his career now. Has wobbled. Takuma his feet, and he found the chin with a lovely left hand. Not yet pressing the action. Doesn't know quite again. Jostled for position at centre ring. Inoue, 55 seconds on the clock. It looked on puncture too. And he dealt with it pretty well. An opponent at times, you know, you're making them think. And he does an awful lot of good work. Inoue enough to win him the round. Slow starter, but it's warmed up. You know, there's nothing to really worry about. They got back into the fight, but it's definitely an Oubaali round with him falling off balance because he put all his weight onto his back.
Memasuki ronde keempat, Oubaali semakin percaya diri. Ia menekan dengan kombinasi ke badan dan kepala. Takuma mencoba bertahan dan sesekali counter. Kontrol masih di tangan Oubaali.
Really starting to plant his feet and let some big shots go ahead, and the two partially blocked. From tore it out like he did there. The body's quick enough. Inoue responded with a short right, gets himself a little bit behind, caught him in the last round so cleanly. Behind him, doesn't want to get back into the ropes, and they're thinking their way through this. Yeah. But he exits to the left that time. Yeah, it's a lovely shot. Really does for that check left foot move on to the left. Oh, real shot. But he opens up his eyes, looks down at Nordine Oubaali. Really very aggressive with his feet now, really trying to close the gap. Ali really growing into this contest, really been not far behind him from what we've seen so far. And he had his man on the rope, but there we see jab to the bottom. But there we see Oubaali textbook. At this level, skill set wise.
Memasuki ronde kelima, pertarungan lebih teknis. Oubaali unggul dalam akurasi. Takuma mulai kesulitan menembus pertahanan. Ronde ini kembali dimenangkan Oubaali.
too many of those counter straight right hands that short
Down to that power that Oubaali.
power isn't everything in boxing. That's
Shot to be able to keep your opponent off in a 12-round contest like that.
handy when you've got an opponent that you need to put in that
That jab, get space. This is better now. Really starting to let him.
Bailin 38-37 and handle machine work. Oubaali almost let him off there. I don't think that's tallies with what we're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Allow Oubaali to slot back in and go on if they do so. I think the snap.
Nice head and foot movement there too. Oubaali beyond in a good round and a half of action where he's been under the Oubaali, but
shot.
Inoue comes back with right eye of Inoue as both men
Backed up, but we can see here he does let some good shots go.
round, but maybe enough just to
From Inoue, answered some questions there, definitely.
water he's waded through so far, and I wonder.
Memasuki ronde ke-6, Takuma mencoba bangkit. Beberapa pukulan mulai masuk bersih. Namun Oubaali tetap tenang dan membalas dengan efektif. Ronde cukup kompetitif.
Just the look of a fighter that's relaxed. Again, a scoring shot
With a quick right hand or left hook.
cheer. It's not
He's, he's willing to exchange
nice jab.
behind the jab, but I can't question his heart.
Four hurtful shots, and that's what the judges will be scoring with. Almost no effect, but
Personality about his heart, he really answered.
do so until 32 earlier on this year from him.
Home fans really,
Best and best, there will be plenty ahead for him.
man, quite a lot to deal with, in control.
Just wonder how well has been anything to go by. He would have been Oubaali, whereas you look at that left hand down, the impact it has in the Takuma Inoue.
With the lips finding, he could get a different out.
So into the second.
Memasuki ronde ke-7, Oubaali kembali mengambil alih. Jab dan kombinasi cepatnya membuat Takuma mundur. Takuma tampak mulai kehabisan ide.
Through the Super Series final tonight.
I've been impressed with Oubaali. Very, very good boxer. With the power that Inoue does
To him, but also not taking his feet back too
quite
much.
often.
Round 7 and 8 to gather the second win momentarily.
Back to work. Stop trying to push Inoue back.
Too much of an issue as Takuma Inoue lands a jab.
Stuff working well behind the jab. Been finding some luck. But again, I don't want to discredit any of the work
Time Inoue does land a single counter. He is
work from the centre ring. Let the punches go in bunches.
One thing you can say about Oubaali is maintain some of the, saw him have so much success in the noughties bout. It's because it's been a high work rate fight, that style, combining it with the natural power and aggression.
Recovered. He's landed some good shots in, but there is also a lot to like from Takuma.
He's got that feel about it.
Memasuki ronde ke-8, Takuma menunjukkan semangat tinggi. Ia mencoba menyerang lebih agresif, namun Oubaali tetap disiplin dan rapi. Pertukaran pukulan cukup seru.
Stopped slightly in the last couple of rounds, although there may be a question or a case that he was taken in a 12-round contest, Chris. One of them being that you got bottom and to work away. But Inoue,
New hands coming together again, and Inoue, you take a break, your opponent gets one too, and
really been impressed with the jab of Inoue. It's very difficult, as we've seen with some fighters, with real ramrod their lead hand, but he's had a knack of going on the out.
maybe just got lucky that Oubaali got his glove caught up in.
Yeah.
Well, and as always is the case, you gather himself, taking this very hard not to be overawed here. It's, I think, heavier artillery. Just say,
Feet and exchanging with Inoue, knowing full well.
fast start from the young Inoue.
See, they're not nice to do, restrict your breathing.
Siblings, you heard that correctly.
Doesn't look overawed at all. Doesn't look like he's strong.
So much like this is a family.
Memasuki ronde ke-9, Oubaali mengontrol jarak dengan sangat baik. Serangan ke badan mulai terlihat jelas efeknya. Takuma mulai melambat.
The body from Inoue.
Swelling under the right. Getting through on occasion, and it has when it has done so.
Definitely got Oubaali in front.
Maybe the machine 79-72, and Sutherland just feeling that maybe he's going to have to.
But we've seen now, I think his corner hat And we're touching it before, you know, the only
One risk getting taken out himself, but that's the price of
has great reflexes, so to exchange with someone who's jabbed,
waiting for the counter, leads on,
change something, have to try and throw the kitchen sink.
stairs too. To hurt the champion, it will be through.
Pushing Oubaali back is Inoue, but just not letting his hand.
That in large part due to the fact that he's been countered. Well, he's given a really had to go for this, and he has done, and he's still.
Memasuki ronde ke-10, Takuma berusaha mengejar poin. Ia lebih aktif menyerang, tapi Oubaali masih lebih efektif dalam mendaratkan pukulan bersih.
So often be crucial to Inoue, just trying to up his work. This is as competitive as it's been so far. Work rate that he's set at the age of 33.
Takuma Inoue, you know, inexperience. Away from Oubaali, step back. Certainly Inoue is the fresher man to that.
That right hand down the pipe and does it again.
It's just the, you know, the lack of power.
Close in the next couple of rounds, and he's got to win.
Of all the rounds so far, they've got to snap. Still in his shots. Taking some deep breath, round off. Not doing a great deal, just happy to move around the ring. Inoue round for me.
He's left his starting to wane, and it was a good round. And the legend, Nordine Oubaali, WBO champion, defending in an hour or so's time in the final.
Memasuki ronde ke-11, pertarungan makin keras. Takuma terus menekan demi mengejar ketertinggalan. Namun Oubaali tetap solid dan tidak panik.
Adult strength paid dividends, and
he looked developing your strength, your skills, that experience, being in there will go. We'll learn an awful lot. You know, I think it brought me on leaps and bounds. You know, not only experience, it's starting to show. It's fantastic. You know, on the back foot.
The trap setting just hasn't really taken the back step and force the issue much as he can.
This has been a good contest. I've enjoyed this from the start. Really hasn't in with Oubaali. I think it's a great contest, but one
penultimate round as the two of them go back to
we all know what his own power, heart may play a
level for Takuma Inoue.
Memasuki ronde ke-12, Takuma mencoba all out. Oubaali bermain aman, menjaga keunggulan. Keduanya saling tukar pukulan hingga bel akhirnya berbunyi.
You know, he has allowed Inoue back in the early.
Yourself if you throw the kitchen sink at somebody in there.
The smaller puncher,
to preserve your engine, whips him into a stiff.
Found the short right hand, and it's good work.
A minute and 7 on the clock. Himself forwards. Oubaali is hurt here. It would be a huge upset, dominated. He's run on. Oh, how Takuma Inoue wishes. Forward again, Oubaali now fires back as his head clears. Men missing now with wild hooks as the tank starts to end. And credit to him, as you say, Darren, for sticking in there.
Setelah 12 ronde penuh aksi, hasil pun diumumkan. Nordine Oubaali menang angka mutlak unanimous decision. Oubaali menunjukkan kelasnya sebagai juara dunia dengan teknik, ketenangan, dan knockdown krusial di awal pertarungan. Sementara Takuma Inoue tampil berani, tapi harus mengakui keunggulan lawannya. Tulis pendapat kalian di kolom komentar tentang pertarungan ini. Dan jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan nyalakan loncengnya agar teman-teman tidak ketinggalan ulasan tinju lainnya.